Look, don't be an idiot. Anchor FM is a good deal. $0 free so you can host and distribute your podcast. You should make a podcast. I'm telling you right now, listeners. Make a podcast. Be in direct competition with us. Use Anchor FM. Get the app. You can record right into the app and send it out over the airwaves of existence. So thanks, Anchor FM, for being the host of the Triplefour podcast. On with the show.
Triplefour.
Let's talk about it. Okay, Triplefour podcast.
Yeah, he said this dude makes a meatwad fucking thing for no reason, and then he says Jim Norton.
Bob Dylan I find personally obnoxious, but the Beatles destroyed culture.
Oh my god.
I got Elon Musk to smoke weed in my Tesla the other day. It's not even a big fucking deal.
Things are crazy right now. You don't know shit, do you?
We really didn't.
We really didn't.
You know, you can't always get what you want, but you'll find sometimes that if you try,
You just might get it.
Oh, you get it!
Welcome back, Triplefour episode 32. With me as always,
Nick Wandersea.
on Monday.
Raw.
I'm back.
Josh is here.
I'm back.
Back from the dead.
You think?
What if we just did a whole...
You'd think.
You think?
What if we just did a whole podcast where it was only the intro?
That's food for thought, for sure.
Put that on the bulletin.
Definitely an idea that you've had.
Dude.
Josh, how was the afterlife?
Yeah, take it as a leave it. Just kind of hanging out, booling,
Just booling.
whatever.
You see any famous dead celebrities?
Prince.
Huh.
I don't know why, but Prince.
What did he have to say?
Said something about his sister that was like, it sounded vaguely like he, had sexual relations with her, but he didn't.
Is this a thing? Do I not? What? What am I not? What am I out of the loop on here about Prince's sister?
Prince had a scandal?
He didn't have a scandal.
Are you
Wait,
spreading fake news, Josh?
I was dead for 2 weeks.
Prince's sisters.
And I'll fucking come back and spread some shit I don't even know about.
Does he have it? Can we confirm or deny it?
Okay,
Maybe this is a performance bit that Prince was doing.
It was something related to one of his albums. That there was something. There was like the rumor of that. It was always like a rumor.
Well, you know what?
It was never.
Well, you know what he was talking about with Little Red Corvette.
Wait a minute.
He was like, you know that song, Little Red Corvette?
You know that song, Little Red Corvette?
It's about my sister.
He said, "It's my sister," and then he just left.
Crazy.
I don't.
Damn.
Being dead is nuts.
He is a weird person, but you know what? Nice guy.
Well, it was a big week for Josh, traversing the ethereal realms, but it was a big night last night in Hollyweird. Hollyweird. I didn't call it by its regular name. But anyway,
I'm glad I got resurrected for that.
for that joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, it was a good one, wasn't it?
Glad I was back for that.
The Oscars were last night, and let's hear from Nick first.
Well,
Initial thoughts and reflections.
initial thoughts. I only cared about one category.
Makeup.
Obviously.
Yes. No, that's a lie. I really wanted to, just because Lighthouse was only nominated for one thing, which was Best Cinematography. I was really, really rooting for The Lighthouse, but we all know that, let's
That
be
wasn't gonna
honest,
happen.
it wasn't going to happen. And you know why? Because it's Robert
Because
Eggers'
it's
movie.
plagiarized, yeah. Because it's fake news cinema.
But I was keeping tabs. I was at work. I was keeping tabs on updates till I got home and was able to watch. But did see Mr. Bong Joon.
Bong Joon-Ho.
Bong Joon-Ho.
Hits from the bong.
4 fucking Oscars. Damn.
Look, he was ripping the bong that night, that's for sure.
Afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, he was
Making
definitely
it-
having a fucking party after that.
He was just like, You could tell, especially when they announced for Best Director, he was just like...
I think everybody was surprised. I mean,
yeah, but you could see in his face, he was like, I was not expecting this at all. Like, he wasn't even ready for it. And you can kind of tell by people's demeanor when they walk up on the stage whether or not they're going to be like, I can look at someone and tell that they're going to be I don't even know what to say right now kind of person.
yeah.
Versus somebody that is going to get up there and make like a political thing out of it, or
Which
just
certainly nobody did last night.
My favorite are the people that walk up and just go, look, I'll make this quick. And they're like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right.
Best acceptance speech of all time was when Lady Gaga, it was at the Grammys a few years ago. She won so many Grammys this one particular ceremony, and like towards the end, she just didn't have anything else to say. So she went up there and she just went, "This one's for the gays," and that was it.
Hell yeah.
That's a good one. Also, Matthew McConaughey doing the "My hero is me in 10 years." That one.
What about Adam Sandler at the
Spirits?
At the Spirit Awards this year?
Yeah. As we were talking about, I thought his speech was funny. If only he didn't do the voice.
That's
Josh, you're not keyed in on this, right? So Sandler won Best Actor, Best Lead Actor at the Independent Spirit Awards, which are sort of the indie Oscars that take place the night before.
Yeah.
And he got up there and he just goes, "Hello, it's me, Adam Sandler." And he did
the
like,
whole thing in
whole
like a Billy
speech.
Madison, in a classic Sandler character voice.
Yeah.
That's what people didn't want him to do. Is that
No, but that's what made it funny.
That's
is
why
that
he won,
gave the
is
whole
because he didn't
speech
do that.
like, he dropped the voice when he was talking about, he was like thanking the Safdie brothers for...
But seriously.
Yeah, but
But
everything, the whole rest of the
seriously,
speech, he was like, "We made a movie."
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to thank everybody who has worked on my movies.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I wrote a speech. Here we go, real quick. Hello, my name is Adam Sandler. Thank you. I stand before you trembling with thankful glee as I receive the so-called Best Actor trophy, independently speaking, of course.
But anyway, the Oscars. Parasite, the big winner. Best Picture, Best Screenplay.
The biggest bong.
Best Director. Hits from the Bong. Evil Bong 4.
It's out.
Have you ever seen
Maybe.
it? So I, in my Oscars video, kept saying on all my, like, almost all of my award predictions, like, I would have picked Parasite. It would have been cool if Parasite wins this, but I don't think the Academy will award a foreign film in many of these categories, especially not Best Picture. And I was proven wrong last night with Parasite's success. Parasite, though, was one of the most heavily marketed foreign films in forever.
Yeah.
I mean, really, they don't do this like amount of marketing for a film like this. But I think it's the company. There's the American distributor. They're called Neon. I think are trying to become the next A24. Start competing with A24 with these kind of releases.
okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Their other film that they were pushing, another foreign film, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which was on my top films of 2019 list. Great movie that you should see. Another one they were promoting. That one was from France, and France did not pick that film to be their entry for the foreign films category, which was really strange. But yeah, really, really happy for Parasite winning so much because it's... Nobody can say that this was not a great film.
Oh, it was fucking incredible. I watched it last night, right after the Oscars.
Right, so Nick was on the ball.
I'm not going to do any spoilers, but I will say I think it could have just as easily won for cinematography as well.
And production design,
A lot of those shots were
acting,
beautiful.
editing.
That house was really cool.
Yeah.
The main set for the...
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not going to do any spoilers, but that was a really dope set.
Yeah. And all the performances are great. I mean, the editing is perfect. I mean, it's an all-around, like, extremely great film.
And story-wise, was not what I was expecting at all.
Yeah. Which I think is a big part of why going in blind is so important.
Yeah.
Because...
I don't think I ever watched a trailer for that one either.
I know I haven't.
Yeah.
I saw the thumbnail, like the cover, but never watched a trailer for it.
When they were showing clips in the, the different award categories, little tiny clips and snippets of the film, I kept thinking, please don't show anything that's going to give away
anything of substance,
anything interesting from this movie, because I am a full supporter of the going in dark thing. And there were a couple slips. There were a couple things I saw where I was like, I wish they had not shown that. But I don't think anybody who wasn't paying really close attention would have been.
Why was Eminem there?
No reason
That's a
in
good
particular.
question. That's a good question. I literally, because I was kind of going in and out of watching the Oscars.
Doing a song from 2000.
Yeah, I saw 8 Mile. I'm like, what the fuck's 8 Mile going on the Oscars? And also, Eminem comes out of nowhere. I'm like, damn.
This hardly seems relevant.
Then he said Mom Spaghetti and everyone lost it.
But yeah, Parasite, like, I think one thing that was extremely cool was whenever Parasite won, from the screenplay to director and then finally Best Picture, every time it won something, you could tell the entire room was happy with that choice.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is really how it should be. Like, I think there's so much metagaming with the Oscars. Like, this is like kind of the whole point behind my predictions video is like, okay, they're going to pick Tarantino for this because he hasn't gotten this award yet.
Well, you can see, too, any of the people that won. I mean, for the most part, people are, unless they think that they really, really had a shot at it, where you can, sometimes you see someone that is visibly salty.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like
fucking really, but I mean, for the most part, anytime somebody wins something, everybody's kind of like, all right, yeah.
Well, people, well,
we're happy.
I don't know. I'm saying that there was a distinct difference with Parasite's wins. The joy was palpable.
I think that's the difference with the foreign film too, though, is because you could tell his disposition when he's winning. Like, he's so humble and so appreciative and just
that, and also that it's
grateful to be there. Like,
I mean, it's a unique case that this film would make such an impact in America, and also it was such an unexpected thing. Like I said at the beginning. But I want to believe that it's just because those people knew that was actually a great film. I got all my predictions right for the acting awards because those were the most locked in. Now, I agree, Laura Dern had the best performance, but that wasn't like this category where it was like, oh man, it could be anybody. It's just like, it's going to be Laura Dern.
Okay,
Triplefour
but she's
Hall
in
of
the
Famer.
Hall of Fame.
Triplefour Hall of Famer Laura Dern, and I believe she deserved that award because her performance was great. But like Renee Zellweger, who gives a shit?
That was weird.
That was also the fucking weirdest speech of the whole night.
She like,
I didn't listen to that.
she sounded like she had a little bit of Judy stuck in her, and I don't know if that's just like her regular accent or.
I think she's just this disillusioned person.
She's a strange woman.
Yeah, well, I think the part of the reason why she won was it's a biopic, and biopics are the new hotness. Like everybody, like they keep awarding biopics, which I think is so dumb.
Shout out to my boy Elton.
Yes, you know what was funny?
I haven't seen Rocket Man, but I fucking love Elton John.
You know what was funny is he said, "I've never won anything like that, or like I've never been nominated. I've never won anything like this." We're like, dude, you won this award in the '90s for "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" for The Lion King, huh?
Well,
he just forgot. Just went ahead and wiped. But back to the point. I feel like there is just this quality to the Oscars of like this predictability, this like arbitrary, like, okay, we have to award Joaquin because he's been nominated so many times, or we have to award 1917 because it has the cinematography gimmick of the one shot, or it's like we have to award this thing. And I just think that's so lame. But I felt like Parasite's wins were all these very genuine things. And my favorite moment of the night was when Bong Joon-Ho won Best Director, and he said something about the magic of cinema or something. He said, And then in English, because he was mostly being translated, and he said that quote was actually from the great Martin Scorsese. And then he pointed out Scorsese, and Scorsese was kind of choked up, and it was like this moment, everybody stood up and clapped.
I felt it.
And I was just like, you know what? I know that Scorsese deserves more appreciation at this award show, at least this year, because that movie was so great, and wouldn't get it because Netflix is getting shit on. Again, another meta-narrative thing to this whole Oscars thing, this dumb, like, we're going to award this and not that because of reasons. And, like, I just felt like Scorsese was sitting there through that whole thing and knowing he's probably not going to win anything. But
he's okay with it.
Yeah, and he's won these awards all before.
Yeah, he's got his.
He's won all of those. But it's like, man, shout out to the fucking master. And Bong Joon-Ho did that, and it felt like a really cool thing because it was like, okay, Bong's getting this because he deserves it, and he's the new guy. And he's also paying respects to the master, and there was this like kind of double win quality to it.
Yeah,
that I really liked.
I think there was a lot of that last night. Anytime I saw a director on stage, and also at the Spirit Awards, anytime there's a director on stage, they're thanking the other directors that are up for the category because they respect them so much, and they usually mention something about. I think I want to say it was Todd Phillips at the Spirit Awards that said something about, well, this year, a lot of what I saw was them getting up on stage and shouting out to the other, a lot of people will say actors are a little more full of themselves usually when they give their speeches, like, don't deserve to be in this category with anybody else. But all the directors are like, we are here, and I think anyone could have won this award because we all do it for the art.
Yeah.
We're all here for and respect the craft. And
I
I'm thankful. I'm thankful to win this award, but it could have gone to anyone, and I respect these other directors.
Yeah, I did appreciate like Joaquin's speech about it. Even though it felt genuine.
Yeah, no, it was.
Felt really genuine.
That boy's got some feelings.
Yeah,
Joaquin
and some insights. And I thought it was funny because I was sitting there watching it. I was watching it with my grandma, and she was like, kind of like, all right, wrap it up. Those weren't her exact words, but she was kind of like, okay, he's dragging on, like, and I was like, no, I kind of want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, it's like it's his time.
He's not wrong about any of this. He's making good points, and he's using the platform properly.
Yeah,
like, if you're gonna be political, at least say something worth merit.
Yeah.
It is funny, though, because he has won Best Actor at all the shows that he's been nominated this year, and he's been talking about veganism and climate change and all of his things. I felt like he was saying something important this time, but went about it in the most inaccessible way. Like when he started talking about like
he turned
we artificially inseminate a cow
Joker
and then
on
take
stage,
its child and put it in our coffee and I was like, what is?
He was the Joker character on the show with De Niro.
Yeah, which they showed the Society clip. At one
Society.
point. Yeah.
Society.
Again, another good thing about this year's ceremony was I really felt like, well, for one, every Best Picture nominee won something. Except for Irishman, I think.
Yeah.
That's upsetting.
Which, no, it's not that upsetting because you saw, Martin wants to be there.
Yeah.
Very clearly. You can tell he loves the craft and he's deeply interested in any of these people winning.
Well, yeah, and
if he had won, he would have gone up there and been like, this should have gone to somebody else. Like,
well, we know he's won all of those awards before, and he just cares about making movies, so he's satisfied, I'm sure. But my point was going to be, all of the Best Picture nominees except for Irishman won something, and that is a really good sign, I think, because it means that there was not one film that just swept everything. I mean, Parasite won the most, but
deservedly.
But it meant like Little Women got costume design, and Joker got score, and visual effects went to 1917, and cinematography is 1917, and original or production design to Tarantino's movie. And it's like
adapted screenplay for JoJo.
Adapted for JoJo. So it's like, that's a good thing because it means that they were all seriously considering each of these categories and these films on the merits of that
the quality
element.
of the filmmaking.
Yeah, and in that particular thing. And I think that's what the show should be, because a lot of times, like,
It's a popularity contest.
Yeah.
Not.
And I remember when I was a kid, watching, it must have been 2003's Oscars because it was Return of the King. Won literally every award. And I was thinking like, well, not that, I mean, that's a great film, but like, I'm just thinking like, this is like kind of boring. It's just like, you kind of win all awards if you win Best Picture.
Could we just wrap this up into like 3 minutes of Return of the King?
Return of the King.
Okay, show's over.
So that was a really good thing I noticed. And also, you know, obviously Parasite being a foreign film, winning and being acknowledged by the Academy is really good. So that's a very small step both of those are small steps of progress for the Oscars. And I wanted to point those out as good things because usually everybody just trashes on the Oscars. And I'm going to do a little bit of that now because I have some complaints.
Well, people were also talking about Taika Waititi being the first indigenous director to win an award.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I guess I didn't know that.
I forgot. It was like his New Zealand descent.
He's a
like
Kiwi.
The first like award.
Also, real fun fact, Parasite is the first film to win the Palme d'Or and Best Picture since 1955.
Wow.
And that film was Marty, which I've never seen. And I think it's got Ernest Borgnine, and I don't know what it's about. So,
Man named Marty.
almost 65 years since that has happened. That's pretty nuts. But I think that's an amazing thing because it's like, here's one film that totally captured the world.
I think they just gave him the award because his name is Bong.
Yeah,
And everybody wanted to do Bong bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bong
See, the
hits.
Academy is kind of ahead right now. It's at the curve.
So my issues were, number one, and I don't think you saw this because you didn't see the beginning.
No.
But the opening, like, it wasn't a monologue. It was a song. Janelle Monáe came out and she did a song about all the films. And they had these it was like a musical number, so there was backup dancers. And the backup dancers were dressed as, there was some that were dressed up like in the white dress and flowers from Midsummer. There was people dressed up in the red jumpsuits from Us. There was people dressed up like Eddie Murphy's character from Dolomite. And I'm just thinking, you didn't nominate any of these movies. You can't do this. You're just like, it's clear that they recognized that everybody was complaining that these clearly great movies were not nominated and not acknowledged. And then they're just shoehorning in references to them.
Paying tribute in the...
And it's just like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, I'd say that's the worst way to go about it.
And it's just like, that really frustrated me because I was just thinking like, everybody complained that Lupita didn't get nominated for Us and Eddie Murphy didn't get nominated for Dolomite. And like, Midsummer clearly could have been nominated for anything, really. Production design, cinematography at least. Original screenplay. Yeah, costumes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, look,
Visual effects.
bud, like, you can't do that. It just really pissed me off. And they continued to kind of do the same thing over the course of the night where all these people would come up and they
sound. Didn't Ford vs. Ferrari won for best sound editing, didn't they?
it won sound editing, yeah.
Yeah.
And in 1917 it was
But I was
mixing.
going to say, like, Ari's real distinct in his, like, he's very specific about sound.
Ford vs. Ferrari did have great sound in its own right. But
Which I'm sure it did. It's
yeah.
a car movie. Obviously, you're going to have the...
To have the car,
You ever heard-
the car sound like a balloon.
You ever seen Cars?
what, just like in the world or the movie Cars?
movie
Oh,
Cars.
yeah.
2.
3 maybe.
But yeah, no, that continued because there would be all these people. The presenters would come up and they would make jokes about how the Academy won't nominate, black actors and actresses, or that there were no women directors nominated, and like there was like that was the part of the whole bit with like Brie Larson and Gal Gadot and Sigourney Weaver's thing.
Yeah.
They made and it's just like you can't just joke about how your failings as the Academy to not nominate at least Greta Gerwig or Lulu Wang.
I was going to say Greta.
It's like-
Lulu.
because-
definitely. Didn't she come? She came up
Farewell won Best Feature at the Spirits.
at the Spirits, but was she on stage at all at the Oscars?
No, the Farewell wasn't nominated for anything at the Oscars.
No, not as nomination, just
Was she there?
in general.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
Um,
What about Aquafina?
I guess not. I mean, if the farewell's not there, why would they be invited? I mean, kind of.
Be invited. Well, there's plenty of people in the room that didn't
Jeff
get nominated.
Bezos and
that
Billie
are in the-
Eilish were
yeah,
there.
like, fuck.
Oh yeah, I saw Billie Eilish randomly there. I'm like, I don't know why
She
just
performed yesterday by the Beatles.
Why was Eminem was there?
Well, Eminem seems more random. I think Billie Eilish is such a hot commodity that it kind of makes sense for her to be at this big visibility thing. But
she also did the In Memoriam.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the reason she was there. But to do yesterday, come on. But yeah, that was really annoying that, like, to continuously bring up the lack of female directors. Greta Gerwig at the very least, because Little Women was nominated for every other thing.
Yeah, so that's kind of
so it's now. Like that's a pretty clear like mistake.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's bullshit, and they should like if you're gonna have that be a problem, you're not gonna make up for it by joking about it. That's really dumb. But yeah, so that's also cut the songs. Just like the show is so fucking long. Don't do the songs.
I would also like to note that Sid Haig was not in the In Memoriam, and that was bullshit.
There was a lot of people that died that I didn't realize died. Like, I didn't know Rip Torn died.
I didn't mean die. I know. I saw that. I was like, yo, what the fuck? When did he die? Like,
yeah, Rip Torn kind of just got swept under the rug after a day. He literally he died, and everyone was like, oh, all right.
That was crazy. But,
somebody call an ambulance.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts. Way too long. Like, they cut the, like, having a single host thing, and then they just
drew it way the fuck out, and
it's like
threw in musical numbers.
One step forward, two steps back.
Jeez.
Yeah, cut the songs.
Just have Louis do it.
Yeah, Louis C.K. Everybody will be completely fine. There will be no complaints.
Where was Kevin Spacey?
Right.
That's true.
Harvey Weinstein. He's a Hollywood guy.
What's going on?
He knows all these people. Things are crazy right now. Those are pretty much my thoughts on the Oscars. Did you have anything else you want to say about Parasite? Other than it was good?
No.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, the Oscars. And speaking of movies, were there some films you want to talk about?
I've seen a couple since last we met.
I don't buy that.
The floor is yours.
Okay.
I don't believe
no, you're right.
you.
I didn't watch a single movie. I lied.
Yeah, you're just lying.
No, we were talking earlier about walking into movies blind being a much more enjoyable experience. Mm-hmm. One of those being, on your recommendation, one Brigsby Bear.
I've never heard of that.
Is it like Paddington?
It's exactly like Paddington.
Yes. In every way that it is not.
So he has a gun?
He has a gun. This bear it's basically about a movie with a bear that has a gun. Josh, have you seen Brigsby Bear?
No, but it's on my to-watch list.
Okay, well, I'm not going to give away any plot because we talked about walking in blind, but it was a very unique experience. The range of emotion that I felt while watching this movie, I will speak in the most vague terms possible. It is a dark comedy. It is very twisted, very funny. It is both heartwarming and heartbreaking. It is uncomfortable.
I'd say mostly heartwarming, though.
In the broader spectrum, but there are parts of it that are heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, shout out Matt Walsh. You know,
He's always there.
really underrated.
Yeah. And Michaela Jenkins or something?
Claire Danes.
Yeah, Claire Danes, they just kind of put her in there.
Like, here you go.
And Andy Samberg is in it.
Oh, yeah, briefly. Because isn't it's a Lonely Island production, right?
So contractually obligated to put him in there.
Yeah.
But it's made by the Good Neighbor kind of brand, though. So the Kyle and Beck and
so I do like Kyle. That's why it's on my to watch list.
Yeah.
I do like his
to-do list.
To-do list. It's on my to-do list.
And he wrote it with Dave McCary, who was always the director of all that Good Neighbor stuff, who now directs at SNL, where they all work, obviously.
Who was the the detective. What was
Greg
his?
Kinnear.
Okay.
He's super good in that movie
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
That movie's that was like a really instant one for me too. Like I first saw
Well,
that
for obvious reasons. I know
Well,
why it would strike a chord with you.
Yeah, but I also went in blind. I knew that Kyle Mooney had made a movie, and I watched it, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like that was so like personal and like
deep.
and like all
it
this
did.
stuff.
It cut deep.
Yeah, and then by the second time I saw it, I was like, "This is one of my favorite movies, 5-star."
I put it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in my top 10 now.
And then like the last like time I had just a really bad day, I put it on again. It's one of those, because there's a collection of those movies that it's just like I can't possibly. My brain is so rattled and anxious right now. I can't possibly watch a new thing or a challenging thing. I just need a thing that's gonna like.
It's comfortable.
I know how this works, and it's gonna make me feel good and happy. And the last time that happened, I put on Brigsby Bear, and it totally cured me. Like, just snapped me out of it by the end. Another one of those ones for me is Rushmore, the Wes Anderson movie. That's a movie I can put on.
Let's see that. I did revisit Grand Budapest.
That is a same thing.
Yeah. No, it's fucking incredible. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It is a masterpiece.
It is I mean, like, it belongs amongst the ranks of the great, like, auteur film. Well, I mean, not Wes Anderson is the auteur.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like,
generation.
obviously, all his movies are very bizarre and charming in the same
Yeah.
stroke, but that one in particular is.
It's a very complete vision of his, like with all the way it's constructed and the hotel and the sets and the production design and all that stuff, and also
the cast,
the world of it.
And, but the world building and the characters and the story and everything about it.
Because a lot of his other films are still kind of feel like they take place in reality, like Royal Tenenbaums. And
I want to know how much of that was that an actual hotel that they shot in, or was that?
I can't imagine it was.
Like a lot of that was set design. Like in a studio,
it would have to be. I mean, it's such a like.
What I mean, like, what about like the trolley or the tram, like the trolley thing on the side of the cliff that like.
I feel like that was like a miniature.
I think so too.
I mean, I think that's the.
There's just so much about it. I could go on for that one for a while, but.
Yeah, I mean that Life Aquatic and Rushmore are all kind of battling for my favorite of his. You know what I think a problem is? A lot of people who like diss Wes Anderson don't really get the depth of it. Like, and this makes me sound like I'm inside of an.
The humor is.
This makes me sound like I'm inside of an Urban Outfitters right now, explaining Wes Anderson to somebody. Like,
I'd like to note that Dan is wearing a knit sweater.
I am, because I'm Chris Evans in Knives Out. No, but I don't think the people that really like hate on him get the like darkness of it, like, because it has this pastel, like,
not only the darkness
whimsy,
but the humanity and the wit and the physical, like the physicality of the humor too.
Yeah,
where there's little chimes that I don't think that, like, it takes an intelligent person to pick up on these. There are these little
well, it's a glacier, I mean, there's the surface, and then when you like really start to think about what motivates the characters and the kind of lives they live, like
subtleties. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah, in Grand Budapest, I think the like really like fascinating one is Ray Fiennes' character,
the bellboy or the assistant.
No, the Voldemort, fucking Rafe is. I think it's Rafe Fiennes, right? Yeah, the guy who plays Voldemort, the main fucking dude, M. Gustave.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He like, because the whole movie he's presenting himself like he knows everything. He's teaching the kid how to like be the what's the name? I guess he's a bellboy, but what's the term?
That's what I was trying to think.
The hotel.
Concierge,
yeah, and he's like teaching him how to do that and stuff, and like he's the whole time you're seeing kind of from the gaze of the bellboy, where he's like this really admirable, respectable guy, and he's got everything figured out. And then there's like every now and there's this shot of like him in his room, and he just has this blank, tiny room with nothing on the walls, and like you just realize he's like at heart a very sad person. And sometimes that's revealed through the audio, like they say that he was an old soul or that he was born generations ago, kind of thing. And then
they keep hinting at this like dark past.
Yeah,
and then he's also doing all this shady stuff on the side, or having him run little errands that he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, but just like that subtle darkness and melancholy that is in all this stuff. And also,
even though it's a very visually bright.
Yeah, and the story is whimsical and fun. And so I think that's the stuff that really like people don't like. The people who are like
the undertones.
Yeah, I mean, and same thing with Tenenbaums and Life Aquatic and all of his movies. They all have that like really like painful like center to them, and that's why I think he's so great.
Tenenbaums especially. That one's real dark.
Yeah.
About the most depressing Christmas.
I don't know. I mean, I think one of the most beautiful scenes ever is at the end of Life Aquatic when they finally find the shark, and the Sigur Rós song is playing. And you've seen Life Aquatic, right?
I need to watch it again.
Yeah, revisit that because that one hits you hard.
I probably should do a Wes Anderson.
I just remember
marathon.
You should.
My bad. I just remember Murray on the round table talking about something which is something we experienced a lot of on Darkness, like
William Murray.
Yeah, like the Dad's Workshop where we got there, and I thought it was going to be like this, kind of like a space we could work with, but it was cluttered. There's like a forklift in the middle of the room, and boxes and wires, and just we had to move all this stuff. About the showing up on a set with an expectation of what you're going to be working with, and then being hit total blindside with some. Bill Murray was talking about when they went to shoot a scene with Willem Dafoe where he's looking at a porthole in Life Aquatic. There was no porthole. He was just staring at a wall. So like he was imagining there was an actual window that he was going to be looking out of, but it was literally just a wall.
So like what had to happen there? Was it like they digitally added the hole or something?
I guess I don't remember what the antidote was, but I just thought that was hilarious.
And I
just thinking about Willem Dafoe standing there just staring at a wall delivering a scene.
Oh, maybe it was just like a framing thing. Like he was just staring at a wall and the camera was pointing at him, and they added the frame later or something. That was another thing, a little fun thing I keep thinking about from Sidney Lumet's Making Movies book is that he said that Akira Kurosawa said to him at one point, they were talking to each other at some point, and that Lumet asked Kurosawa why he framed a shot in his movie Ran the way he did, and Kurosawa said that if I would have panned an inch to the left, you would see a parking lot, and if I panned an inch to the right, you would see the grips and the sound stuff. And and I always thought like that's like a really incredible like kind of metaphor for the way films are actually made. It's just like
it's the frame. It's about the frame.
Yeah, it's only what happens inside of the camera's frame. Like there is that's kind of the magic. You're creating this thing out of nothing, which is like just something I'm thinking about a lot after reading that. And speaking of Kurosawa, I've been doing a little tour of his films because he's always been this sort of elusive director for me. Because there are a lot of these lofty, respected European and Asian auteurs that I never like really dug into, or like I've seen one or two of their films, and I'm kind of like, okay, maybe not right now. Maybe I'm not ready for this or whatever.
Yeah, it's one thing to watch, like me watching Parasite last night. It's one thing to watch a single film with subtitles, but to commit to a whole genre and sit and watch subtitles back to back.
It's a whole different story.
What I did was I made a list of 100 films that I'm going to try and watch within the next season, you know, like within spring and summer of like really essential directors' work. And I started with David Cronenberg, and I watched all of his stuff except for one film, his version of Madame Butterfly, which is
You saw Videodrome?
yeah, I saw that years ago. So
Okay.
I was just doing stuff I hadn't seen before.
Dude, I fuck with Cronenberg heavy.
Yeah,
He's one of my favorites. All his shit's so weird.
yeah, he's kind of in his own league.
It's so weird and grotesque.
I loved Videodrome, and
There's a lot of like fleshy kind of
the body horror.
yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Did you see? Have you seen The Skin I Live In?
No, that's Almodovar.
I thought that was Cronenberg. You sure?
Yeah,
Okay, well, yeah, you would know, but
yeah, I watched.
that's one you should see.
Yeah, that's Almodovar, the same guy who did Pain and Glory, the Banderas movie that was nominated for the Oscars.
Banderas is in.
Yeah, he's the
Skin I
he's
Live
the
In.
De Niro to Almodovar's Scorsese kind of. But yeah, Cronenberg, Naked. I watched Naked Lunch, Existenz, one of his first.
The Matrix,
early-
but you plug in with your butthole.
Yeah, that's what Existenz is. That movie was just something. Like at first, I was like, "This is
Shout out Jude Law.
so fucking corny and weird."
Gold star for Jude Law.
Gold star, yeah. And Jennifer Jason Leigh was in that, and she's an attractive lady, especially in that movie. I felt
I'll watch it.
you got to check it out.
I'll watch it.
Did Josh die again?
Josh is back.
What?
Bye.
Bye.
Existenz, Naked Lunch. I watched Crash. Cronenberg had a movie called Crash from like
Yeah.
'97 where they like. Oh, it's fucking.
Is that the one?
weird.
That's the one where all the stories tie in together.
Oh.
No, that's
Or,
the other Crash.
Oh, this is a different.
This is a different movie
This is
called Crash.
okay.
That Crash-
That was the distinction I was
Yeah.
trying to.
That crashed in the early
Okay.
2000s, right?
Yeah, that's from like '04. That won Best Picture, and everybody was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
That movie is horrible. That movie is so bad. But yeah, Cronenberg's Crash is about like James Spader and Jennifer Jason Leigh. They're like they like they develop a fetish for getting into car crashes. Like it makes them horny when they get into a car crash, and so it's about like people who like purposefully drive their cars like really dangerously so they can get into crashes and then bone. It's fucking crazy. It's nuts.
That's on some like Ichi. I saw you put Ichi the Killer on my list too,
yeah.
which
I haven't seen it either. So
you've never seen. No,
you've seen it.
I have. I didn't watch it beginning to start. I walked in late while my brother and our other friend were watching it, and it is out there.
Yeah.
Within that regard of like the fetish kind of thing. Like every time he kills somebody, he just like jerks off and goes and cries.
hell yeah, Japanese got it right,
Hell
dude.
Oh, it's Japanese. Oh.
He literally has like a fucking like a blade on his heel or his foot, and he'll just kick people, like slice them directly in half, and then literally every time he kills a person, he jerks off and then he goes and cries in a corner.
As you would.
You have to.
As you would usually.
Yeah. So Cronenberg, and then I watched a bunch of Paul Schrader's movies. That guy made a lot of movies. The ones I liked. There was one called The Yakuza, which was pretty cool. It's kind of like a noir set in Japan that involved the Yakuza. And then there was another one called Rolling Thunder, which was about a POW from Vietnam who returns, and basically everybody just shits on him. Like his wife
Cold fry.
is with another man, and he's like, I don't know. Only bad stuff happens to this guy who's a Vietnam vet, and Tommy Lee Jones is in it, one of his first roles, and they kill a bunch of people. It's dope.
Super dope.
And then yeah, so I came to Kurosawa, and so Kurosawa, obviously, Seven Samurai, Yojimbo, which is the basis for Fistful of Dollars, and a bunch of other stuff. The Hidden Fortress was one I had, which was a new one I'd seen. Hidden Fortress is most famous in a postmodern kind of way for being a huge inspiration for Star Wars. So George Lucas saw this movie, and there are like direct character correlations to Star Wars. So like there's the two guys, there's like a tall one and a short one who are C-3PO and R2-D2. There's these guys who are like kind of wandering the land. They're caught between this big battle that's going on between the rebels and this like kingdom.
I'm guessing they have like back and forth dialogue that's like kind of like it's jokish.
Yeah, it's quippy. It's yeah. And then they're a lot more. I mean, R2-D2 and C-3PO are like good guys. These guys are like kind of neutral. Like they're just looking to make a buck, but they're kind of caught in between this rebels and empire thing.
Okay.
And then there's a princess who's a part of the rebels, and they end up meeting this guy who is like her protector, and he's kind of the
the fortress the Death Star?
No, it's not. That's what I thought it would be, but it's the Hidden Fortress is like it's not even really a big plot point, so I don't know. But yeah, it's this like kind of fun adventure with these.
It's there.
Well, it's there.
Out.
Well, that's where like the rebels are hanging out, kind of at the beginning. They have this like system of tunnels built into a mountain.
So that's it's the rebels.
Yeah, the rebels. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. But
Well, no, I don't get it.
but like
Can you explain it more?
but then there's like also it's just this adventure with them. That's the C-3PO and R2-D characters, the Princess Leia character, and the Luke guy. And then there's like a bad guy who is like
The Luke guy?
There's the Luke guy.
Where's an oxygen mask?
No, there's a bad guy who's like kind of the Darth Vader analog, who's like the Empire's like main warrior, and he and the Luke guy have to square off. And then there's a scene where the three of the characters, the princess, the Luke analog, and the princess's like caretaker, like her best friend, secretary woman, are tied to poles, and there's 3 poles. And I'm like, this is just like Attack of the Clones.
I think that Star Wars overall would have been better if they didn't call him Luke Skywalker, they just called him the Luke guy.
Lucas considered that.
Huh.
And then he said, no. Yeah. Kurosawa, pretty big deal. Japanese director.
Now, speaking of, we were talking earlier about things outside of the frame. Mm-hmm. I watched another one that we have discussed previously on the podcast, but
Midsommar.
I would like to. No.
Finally, we're getting back to the Midsummer.
Dude, it's Hereditary. Ari Aster.
We haven't talked about Midsummer.
Welcome back
Yeah,
to the Lighthouse.
There's one movie we haven't talked about a lot is Midsummer.
Roar. I watched Roar.
Oh.
And holy shit. Oh my God. Like, dude, the first 15 minutes, I was just like, jaw on the floor. Like, what the fuck is going on right? This is insane. Immediately went to the Wikipedia page after I watched it. Fucking what?
That movie gives you more anxiety than any horror movie out there.
Oh, I know. Dude, I was just like, no. Like,
Yeah.
It's a great horror movie.
It is.
That
honestly.
whole fucking scene where Togar is just busting through walls.
yeah.
Like,
The house being destroyed is crazy. There's that guy like hides in that like cabinet for a while, and
The girl that hides in the fridge, and the fridge is toppled down over.
yeah,
And he
She's
gets stuck in the fridge.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about, like, these people committed to this for 11 years. This movie
it's the director's actual family.
was budgeted at $2 million for 5 years. It was 11 years and $17 million. And it did so poorly it only grossed $2 million in the box office, and all of the proceeds from the film were supposed to go to conservation. And so they put a disclaimer at the end of the thing that they're like, basically like, yo, we fucked up. If you could donate to conservation or plan a meaningful trip to Africa, like, go help animals.
Yo, we fucked up.
John Marshall, the main dude, was injured, mauled so many times that he wound up in the hospital. He was in the hospital for over a month. With
the woman that
he had to get 56 stitches. He wound up with gangrene and eventually blood poisoning, and almost went into a coma from the blood poisoning. Same time that Tippi Hedren,
she got her leg
wife,
was broken.
She
or fractured.
Got gangrene, and they were both in the hospital for like a month.
Yeah.
The cinematographer,
John DeBont.
Jan DeBont.
He got fucked up.
Got scalped by a lion and had to get 220 stitches and then returned to doing the movie. I think like 2 years in, 20 people walked. They were like, this is insane. We're not doing this anymore. 5 years in, the fucking whole set flooded, caused $3 million in damages, including cameras, equipment, all the stuff. The whole set was destroyed. They bought and replaced 700 trees, rebuilt the entire set. In that length of time, one of the fences was damaged. 15 of the lions got out. 3 of them were shot by local law enforcement, including the main lion, Robbie, who they then replaced and continued the movie.
I love it.
Artistic commitment.
It's
Okay, I love one of my favorite parts of that.
Insane fucking shit.
The 2 guys that are like almost like bodyguards or something. That's like, yeah, you're dumb for having this many lions, and he gets fucking attacked. He's the one that got like 50 stitches too. He was barely in the movie, and he got fucked up.
I like the part where the 2 like leopards or jaguars jump on the boat, and they're just like, "We're going with you."
Yeah.
And then the boat fucking
tigers, and those were the only 2 I was reading on the thing. Those are like the only 2 animals in the whole movie that they actually trained, and they had to train them for that shot where they get in the car, and it took them like 5 weeks to get that fucking shot.
Well, I'm talking about there's a part where they jump on a boat.
They just sit there,
and the boat goes. You said car.
Well, they jump on the boat first, but then the boat sinks, and then they follow Motivo and the other dude, and they have to get in the car at some point.
Well, I was thinking like the part where the boat sinks. I'm like, this can't have been planned.
No,
like they had to have just sunk this boat by accident, and then had to like improvise the plot.
A lot of watching that movie was like, this was not planned.
Yeah,
none of this was fucking planned.
It's a fucking genius movie, though. Like, it's like when the family shows up and they don't understand what's going on, and then they just open doors to just lots of lions.
I'm gonna open all the windows.
I love it when they open windows and a fucking lion's just right there, like they just close it right back up.
Tippi Hedren, her career just marked by animal attacks. She was in The Birds too. So famously, Alfred Hitchcock at one point tied birds to her dress. So yeah, kind of a rough go of it for Tippi.
Rough 2 movies, that's for sure. That's a rough 2. Poor Tippi. Can we put Tippi in the Hall of Fame for getting attacked in 2 different movies?
You know what? Bigger golden star.
Yeah, a nice gold star.
An above average sized golden star for Tippi Hedren. For multiple animals.
Literally watching her getting attacked viciously in 2 movies.
You know, Laura Dern obviously won an Oscar, Hall of Famer Laura Dern, but also Willem Dafoe won Best Supporting Actor at the Spirits, so another Hall of Famer.
Okay.
There you go. And this is why they win awards.
More.
Because they're in our Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
That's why they won.
That's why they when they made their decision for the winners for these award ceremonies, they called us at the Triplefour podcast and they said, "Are they in your Hall of Fame?" And we said, "Yeah." And they were like, "Okay, they win."
I actually have the audio clip.
Click. Hello?
Hello, is this a representative of the Triplefour podcast?
Yes, this is Nick Wandersee.
Hello, this is Oscar from the Academy Awards, and look, we're trying to make some decisions here. We are considering maybe giving it to Laura Dern for the supporting actress, but we don't really. We need like one more factor.
Well, let me stop you right there. Let me tell you that Laura Dern is in our Hall of Fame.
Is she really?
Yes.
Who's that? Who are you talking to?
Josh, it's Oscar from the Oscars.
Oscar?
They want to nominate Laura Dern, but they're unsure, and I'm telling them that we have already decided that should there be an award,
it goes to Laura Dern.
It goes to Laura Dern.
Why is that
Is
a
there
question?
someone else there? This is a private call.
I'm so sorry, John. Oscar.
What the You have some nerve. My name is Oscar Meyer, and I am in charge of picking
Give the
winners.
award to Laura Dern. Click.
That phone call was kind of a thrill ride. Like, he didn't even ask about Willem Dafoe, though.
Man, I hope she gets the award.
But of course, obviously, he called back later to ask about the guy from the Spirits called back to ask about Willem Dafoe a little bit later. And, Scarch, can you pull up that audio? Okay, he's got it. He's playing it right now.
Hello?
Click.
My name is,
Hello?
Hello? This is Tim from the Independent Spirit Awards.
Spirit Awards?
Yeah. You know, Spirit Airlines, they sponsor us. But we give awards to independent film. Sir, can I speak to somebody more competent?
No, this is Josh.
Well, I was calling to inquire about the Triplefour podcast. Do you know, are you with that?
I'm on it.
You're on it, okay. That's kind of weird because I listened to your most recent episode and I didn't hear anything about Josh.
Well, I died, so sorry. Anyway, you're going to give me some spirits?
No,
What's going on
not
here?
you. We do have this guy, Willem. It's kind of like William, but they cut out some of the letters. Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? Okay, we're trying to we might give him the award for best supporting actor, but
Okay, yeah, give it to him.
Okay, do you have any research or any
As
particular
we
reason? Or?
do know in Spider-Man, he's somewhat of a scientist himself.
Well, we won't be giving him the award unless he's at least a part of some other kind of Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, he's in the 444 Hall of Fame.
No shit. Well, I have to run off and tell my supervisor.
Yeah, you go do that, William Spirits.
I said my name's Tim. You, God damn! I'm
Okay,
never calling
William.
this stupid podcast again. You know, fuck you. Bye.
Hello?
Okay, wow. Riveting conversation. He really got pissed at the end.
I couldn't hear him. My phone was fucked up. It clicked
Guys,
before he even answered.
I think we should just have Scarch answer the phone from now on.
Well, my phone was fucked up, and then he asked me. I died, so I don't know. It's been a rough couple of weeks, okay?
Yeah. Another film not awarded by the Spirits, which we just heard the phone call from them.
Yeah.
Sword of Trust, Mark Maron, directed by Lynn Shelton. Now, if anybody on this podcast cast would like to talk about that, now would be the time.
Wow, you know what a coincidence. I just saw that movie the other day.
I love that you're chewing.
Yeah. Chicken's good. Were they nominated for the Independent?
I don't think so.
No?
Let me double check.
Well, that came out last year, didn't it?
No.
Well, technically, 2018. I think. Anyway, good movie.
no, like last summer. So it would be
have you seen it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I was nominated for best editing, and that was it.
Essentially, brief synopsis. Mark Maron is a pawn shop owner, and someone brings him a Yankee sword from the Civil War, and there's a group of white supremacists who are trying to prove that the South won the war. And so this is like an artifact that proves that the South won the war, so they try to sell it for $40,000. It's pretty fucking good. I was really impressed with Maron. Particularly, there's a scene where they're in the back of a truck, and he kind of gives a background of how he wound up in the South and a significant other that was addicted to drugs, and it's a really sad story, but he sells it so well, almost to the point where you're like, that
It's got to
happen to him.
I mean, he definitely has pieces of that story in his real life.
Yeah.
But
it was a powerful delivery.
the thing I liked about that movie was just that it had this like great comedic timing and just like dry kind of, and it was all set. There was like 2 or 3 sets. Like it mostly took place in the pawn shop, and then the van, and then the other house or whatever. And it was a very, very like small movie that really worked. The director Lynn Shelton, she's kind of a known mumblecore director. She's done some good work. And now she and Mark are an item.
Define mumblecore.
Did you ever watch Baghead?
Did you say Dumbledore?
Mumblecore. Did you ever watch Baghead?
Yeah.
That's a mumblecore movie. It's kind of that super low budget, kind of just dialogue, character-based stuff. A lot of the times the dialogue is improvised, and the mumble thing refers to the fact that it's all very like...
The space.
Kind of. I mean, the mumblecore aesthetic usually has like handheld camera work and like is even low budget, but more budget than the space. And so,
also, Living in Oblivion. That was another one I visited since the last time we did.
Yeah, similar aesthetics and stuff. The term mumblecore didn't really come around.
I'm not saying that it's mumblecore. I'm just saying in regard to the independent and the whole...
Yeah, no, that's very... I mean, it has a lot of this similar aesthetics and technical qualities to it and style. The term kind of comes from there are certain directors that are kind of pinned as mumblecore. Like there was a movie that's from like 2000 called Funny Ha Ha. That's kind of considered the first one. And then Joe Swanberg was the big guy, and the Duplass brothers in general. And then Lynn Shelton. And there are some like mumblecore stuff that kind of became like horror movies. I mean, Baghead is a good example. But like that they kind of cross paths a lot. This guy Ty something.
Ty Baxley.
He does everything.
He does.
He does everything.
Yeah. I want to know. Josh obviously was dead last week.
Obviously.
Or the other week when we did the last episode. Do you have anyone you would like to nominate for the Triplefour Hall of Fame?
I think I had that last time. I think I had it.
Besides Laura Dern.
Laura Dern.
We got Laura Dern, Willem Dafoe,
Tom Hanks,
and
Christopher Walken.
Or current.
And De Niro was tabled for further discussion.
Joe Pesci.
Oh shit, dude!
It's Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
Gold Star.
Yep, Joe Pesci.
Well, the Gold Star is not.
I feel like a lot of people do have him hold him in a very legendary regard, and obviously he's a great actor and has been in some iconic roles.
Little Joe sure can sing.
Little Joe sure can act also, but I feel like I'm not quite on that
not ready for
level.
Not for the Hall of Fame.
So fuck you, Josh.
Yeah.
I'm already back. I came back. I died and came back. And
again.
I guess I'm gonna fucking die again.
But I had a thought, an easy one. How we haven't elected David Lynch to the Hall of Fame? It almost goes without saying.
Well, I mean, he's basically a part of the podcast.
He's a good friend of the podcast. Makes many appearances.
I think he lives in a realm outside of the Hall of Fame.
Like, it doesn't even mean anything if he gets it. He did get an honorary Oscar, if you saw that part of the award ceremony last night. So The honorary ones always they do like in the summer, and then they just mention it briefly at the Oscars.
I mean, I know he's a friend of the podcast, but I don't know that he even knows.
Funny story. Dusty Springer, the other day. Shout out to Dusty. He was like, "Hey, I watched that new David Lynch short on Netflix," and I was like, "Oh yeah," and he was like, "I didn't even know it was David Lynch's thing. I just clicked on it and watched it," and I was like, "That's a weird way to go into that." Like, because he just knew that my Twitter picture was the monkey, and he was like, "Oh, that's Dan's picture. I'm gonna watch whatever this is," and then he did. So that's funny.
Well, that's a good way to enter a David Lynch film.
It is.
Oh no, no. I think I found my Hall of Fame choice. Now, the hat and the thing.
Holy
The one Kurt Russell wears
shit.
in the
I think,
helicopter.
yeah,
I'm gonna
I'm
I'm gonna give you that.
this will pass. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Kurt Russell's hat and the thing.
Now-
Welcome
Scarge put it up
to the
on screen.
Triplefour Podcast Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Give it
Well
Kurt,
done.
Kurt Russell's hat.
It deserves it.
Deserves it.
It
Yeah.
deserves it. Deserves it. All of
You know,
it.
I tried to put It's funny that the hat
we
made
did
it
just
into the Hall of Fame because I
Kurt
tried to
Russell
get.
himself did not.
I tried to put Kurt Russell in the Hall of Fame. He didn't make the cut,
It's
but
a hat. You
that
know?
hat.
That
The
it
hat.
happens.
It's the hat.
It happens. Nick, you can have one nomination.
One more.
Yeah.
I'm almost tempted to try for another one of Kurt Russell's props, but I'll
Enough ironic entries.
I'll
for
shelf that.
more
I
Kurt
don't-
Russell
I
props.
don't see the irony in this.
Hat.
His
I
crazy
think
leather
Josh was
suit from
dead
Escape
serious,
from
okay?
New York. His costume.
The
from
eye
Escape.
patch.
Yeah.
Oh, the eye patch.
No, gotta think about this one. I gotta pee. I'll be back.
So
Take
Josh,
a walk. You take a walk.
I'm personally glad he's gone because Josh, we really want to hear from you. You know. Oh no! Now you look like a dad at a baseball, like a kid's baseball game.
Hey.
Josh just put on that black hat that Nick bought.
Hey, come here. David, come here. What we talk about?
Oh no!
See?
He's
I'm already doing it. See?
You're killing it.
I got the ball cap on and everything. I'm gonna yell at a third base coach and say he was safe when he really wasn't.
It's just the whole getup, you know. Like you got it all put together.
Get home from work. I just, I love my job.
I
Love my son too.
I love baseball.
Love baseball. Love the game.
Budweiser.
Cool.
Cool. Cold buds.
Cool. Anyway, I love the game. Love my son. Love work.
Bud Select.
But
It's just
drink it.
drink it. You gotta.
Anyway, I'm back.
Josh is back.
No sun.
No
Just
sun.
like
though.
that. Just like that. No sun.
You just forget that
Yeah.
you just don't acknowledge him.
Leave him at the
anymore.
game. He's done now.
Left him. He didn't.
Got bored of him.
He went 0 for 4, so we had to.
Struck out 3 times. Not
Yeah.
on my watch. That's not my son.
Not my son.
Leave your ass in the bleachers when you do that.
That's how you train him.
Yeah.
How do you think
I know.
Tiger Woods got so good?
Yeah. Yeah, you mean when
It's
I
like-
slept, sleeping around, but you got the job done.
You don't make par.
No.
You sleep in the car. That's what.
Sleep.
That's what he said.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't make it to par. I'm leaving your ass in the golf car.
Yeah, golf cart.
Go kart.
Golf cart with the gators and the
Yeah. Probably
gnats.
put you right in the sand trap. You're gonna be waking up to a bunch of sand in your
Yeah, you will.
ass.
Oh, hey guys, I'm back.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was thinking about the Hall of Fame,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to deliberate. At first, I thought Don Cheadle, but then I thought, what about his body of work? And then I considered someone very close to Don Cheadle.
Cheed Donald.
Cheed Donald.
Cheetos.
Cheadle.
Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Cheetos Needles.
Whoa.
That's his shop that he's opening up.
Is it a tattoo shop?
No, it's a sewing and embroidery parlor.
Okay.
Chester Cheeto.
Okay.
Oh? You had your nominations, Josh. You had your chance.
Papa John.
Papa John. Rihanna.
Rihanna.
I got a coin toss here, and I think I know the winner. I think you might. Well, I don't know. Maybe
You got one.
Maybe you'll.
You get one nom.
Jim
Josh?
Ca-
Jimka.
Jimka. I want
Jim
Jimka.
Cotta.
Jim Carrey.
Timothy Costello.
Yeah. I say aye.
Hell yeah.
Okay, yeah. Aye.
Hell yeah.
Jim Carrey, you know, wait, who is that? No.
I think it's what Jim Carrey says to himself when he paints.
Yeah. What is Jim Carrey?
Who is that?
Man on the Moon, Truman Show,
Mask.
Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura.
Dumb and Dumber.
Only Ace Ventura. 23?
No, that movie is fucking awful.
Dude, that's crazy though.
is that the fucking writers?
Nuts.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yo, dude,
though.
this movie's crazy.
So nuts.
Crazy, dude. Eternal Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen that movie since I was in high school.
Yes Man.
I love Yes Man.
Oh yeah, Yes Man. I love the whole.
Me, Myself,
medieval
Irene
times.
is whatever.
I never saw that one. That also has Renee Zellweger, doesn't it?
Decent.
Yeah, what movie am I thinking of when they're going to medieval times?
Cable Guy.
Cable Guy, that's it.
Classic.
Cable Guy.
Shit,
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's I love
I
that
fuck
one.
with Cable
Yeah,
Guy, dude.
that's a
I'm
good
about to put that
one.
on soon. That's a good call. Little jam sesh.
Trying to think what he's done more in recent years besides look like
Sonic.
a crazy homeless person.
That's it.
He
That's the
did-
He
dream.
did some indie
He
stuff.
did make an appearance as a crazy homeless desert wanderer in a movie called
Bad Batch?
Bad Batch, yeah, where he doesn't have any lines. And
Yes,
you
you do.
you would hardly tell that it's Jim Carrey. Like if you didn't know Jim Carrey, you would not know.
Mr. Popper's Penguins.
I don't think I ever saw that
I
one.
don't
but-
either. Nobody did. It's like an airplane movie. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Jim Carrey.
You ever been on an airplane where they forced you to watch a movie? Like nowadays they have the system where they just stream. You have a whole bunch of options. I mean, this is mostly like really long flights now. I mean,
Snow Dogs.
Snow Dogs.
They make you watch Snow
They
Dogs
made you watch
on
Snow
the
Dogs on an
airplane?
airplane?
No,
Oh. Jim Carrey's not in Snow Dogs.
I know.
Only Jim Carrey movies on the airplane.
No.
Only.
I've only been on an airplane where they forced you to watch one movie once, and it was The Secret of Nim or some shit like that. It was like a kid's like family movie. I don't know. I was like,
Hey.
fuck this.
Can I?
But Mr. Popper's Penguin seems like it's in that genre. Movie that is forced on you in the airplane.
Can I don't want to take back Jim Carrey, but can I suggest
Out with it.
Jackie Chan?
How about
Here we go again.
Jack Black?
Oh, the instant Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Jackie Black.
Jackie Black. Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown.
Jackie
Jackie
White.
Brown, most underrated Tarantino by a mile. Facts.
So yeah, Scarch put Jack Black's face up.
There it is.
There he is.
I did see he
Gotta
put
love
up
him.
a new Jablinski video.
Ah, I didn't see that.
And he's in the claim was he's gonna start working out. And it was him
Just like he's gonna start playing video games.
Right. No, but the whole video was him training with like a Hollywood trainer. You know, the people that they work with to get into
The
superhero
people
shape.
from Hollywood.
the people that train like Chris Evans to be jacked for Captain America type shit. And he was working with this guy and doing kettlebell shit. And Jack Black, I couldn't tell if it was a bit. I mean, like, he said in 2020 he's going to get fit.
Have you seen Reggie Watts?
No.
I saw him in the commercial.
Reggie Watts is straight up jacked now, as well as Ethan Suplee.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
We did. Okay,
yeah.
we talked it. Yeah,
not on the cast, but
so you know what? You go, Jack Black. You go.
I kind of admire...
You got our support from the Hall of Fame, so that should be
did.
enough to give you the edge that you need.
I really admire that there is a very strong health culture right now. Have you noticed this? I just feel like everybody's trying to like a lot more people than years ago are way more health conscious, and I know a lot. Maybe it's just the age that we're at. You know
what it was? It was Joaquin's speech at the Oscars.
Yeah, the inseminating cows thing that really got to him.
Lit a fire somewhere. I think, man, it's also kind of tied to environmental awareness too. I think also the kind of seem hand in hand in that regard.
What, like the veganism and stuff?
Veganism, yeah, and like just general like.
Can we not make it an ism?
Ketoism.
I thought ketoism.
Yeah.
Obvious. I thought I've heard before that being vegan doesn't necessarily reduce carbon footprint or whatever. Like, it's not necessarily better for the planet.
No, I mean, probably not. But I think if it's like more or less a decrease in the demand for meat, then yeah, that will have some benefit.
I'm not giving up burgers and pizza.
Oh, me neither.
And I'll never shop at Schnucks.
If Maddie Bowen's listening to this, she's a vegetarian. Fuck you. Got him.
No, man.
Anyway.
Just end right there.
Well. It's been another wonderful episode of the Triplefour podcast. Talked a lot about movies today, didn't we?
So wrap it all back to the beginning about the Prince bit.
Oh, now he remember.
Oh, now you remember the Prince bit.
About the Prince bit.
It's all come full circle.
Finally.
It was a song called Sister. That's all.
Thank you.
Man.
Good night.
Thank you, Anchor.
Jack Black, welcome.
Jack Black and
Kurt
Jim
Russell's
Carrey.
hat.
And Kurt
Russell's
Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell's hat.
No, Kurt Russell's hat.
Kurt Russell in the thing.
Bird Russell. All right, that's enough.
Then what is that? His attorney?